contemporary art, do most people buy it for investment? Because it sounds more or less like gambling. Like, I'll buy it cheap today, hopefully tomorrow it will become a little bit expensive, it's fine. At least I earn some profit.
So in Asia, 80% of the people buy for investment and 20% buy just for the sheer hell of it and joy of buying. In the West, it's the other way around. About 80% of people buy because they can, because they've got money, because they enjoy art, and about 20% are actively doing it for investment. So the investment trend is much greater in Asia. And partially, and that's a mismatch, an unbalanced power divide, because in the West, the power tends to sit with the galleries, because the galleries have access to the artists and the galleries control the flow of art.
Right.
Which you might think is unhealthy, because then they can restrict supply, a bit like De Beers and diamonds, you know. They can restrict supply to drive the prices up. In Asia, the power balance is with the buyers. If you've got the money, you can buy it. Because the artists are less loyal and less willing to sign contracts than in the West. So a Western artist will sign a contract with a gallery, it'll be an exclusive contract, you sell my work, that's it. I won't sell anything on the side privately, I won't go to another gallery, we've got a good deal, shake hands, sign the contract. Here, in Asia, certainly in some countries, you know, the artist will say, yes, I have an exclusive deal with you, and with him, and with him, and with her as well. So they tend, and then I'll sell stuff on my own as well, if I can get away with it. So there's a much more entrepreneurial approach, and a much more laissez-faire towards the allowing the galleries to have that degree of power.
What's the correlation between world economy and the international art market?
About 1. It's almost a perfect correlation.
Oh wow!
The richer the people, the better the art market, and that's why the Chinese market is the one to watch, because it's not because it's just a growing economy. In the West, in Europe, in the West, in the US, there's like this many rich people. And in 10 years' time, there's going to be about that many rich people. It's fairly stable.
Right.
You know, a couple grow, a couple come into that rich pool, and a couple come in, and a couple go out. But it's fairly static, the number of rich people. So the buying population, because rich people buy art, poor people don't buy art, rich people buy art. In China, the issue is that today there's this many rich people, and next week, there's going to be more, and the week after there's going to be more. So the pool of high net worth individuals is actually getting larger. They will eventually start buying art, and therefore that will be the demand. And the demand initially in any country is for art from that country, art that culturally resonates. And I think that's what we're seeing with this surge, this rise in antiques, Chinese works of art, modern works of art. We're seeing art now that resonates culturally with the buyers. They see it, they understand it. You know, the Chinese buyers buy a lot of calligraphy. They like calligraphy. They like drawings of horses and goldfish and stuff like that, because it resonates and means something to them, much more so than it does to somebody from the West. So, you know, I was brought up in a Western tradition, so things that resonate with me are, you know, Cubism, Impressionism, those types of things I've grown up with and are somehow fixed as art. And the Chinese see other things as art. They see porcelain, they see antique Chinese furniture as being highly desirable because they understand it.
Right. Are most Chinese bidders, when they go to auction houses like Christie's or Sotheby's or elsewhere, are they individuals, as in private individuals, or are they individuals backed by the government somehow?
No, they're normally just private individuals. Yes, I mean, if the government wanted to buy stuff back, they would just buy it back, you know. I mean, they could just write a single check and buy it all back. But no, it's always private individuals. And I think that it fits with the Chinese cultural thing, that the individuals buy things, and sometimes they buy it for themselves, sometimes they buy it as a long-term investment, but sometimes they buy it as a gift for the government to say, I bought this and I'm now gifting it to the Shanghai Museum. I'll put it on permanent loan. The other rumour is that's frothing the prices is that people are, if I want to bribe you, say give you $5 million, if I give you a big suitcase full of money at $5 million, guess somebody's going to notice. You know, that you've got, where did you get the $5 million from? Even the tax man's going to notice, going to want his share. So a much neater way is that I give you a small gift instead, which might be a small Ming vase. And I give you a small gift and I say, here's a gift, thank you for all of your assistance, there's a gift. Oh, by the way, you might want to put that into auction at some stage. And so you wait for 6 months or a year and then you put it into auction and I buy it back for $5 million.
Oh.
And that way, you have sold a family heirloom, you get $5 million, everyone thinks you're really lucky that you found this thing in the attic or wherever. Wow. You've got your $5 million. And it's even nicer than that, because I get the piece back, and on record, this piece is now worth $5 million.
Wow. So
I might be able to sell it on and recoup my money.
Wow, so people really do this?
That's the rumour, yes.
Rumour.
Like all things, that's the...
that's what they say.
It has been said that those types of things may be happening, yes.
Now the Chinese market is booming a lot. What about in other emerging markets, say Brazil or India? What about these countries?
Well, Brazil is way out of my zone. I'm just Asia. But I've heard good things about Brazilian contemporary art. India is a more difficult market. It's a more complex market because it's one very prone to overhyping and overinvestment. It's that if anybody there's some serious buyers in India who are seriously buying good art by seriously good Indian artists. But as soon as an artist becomes even mildly well known and the work does well at auction, then all that happens is the investors just pile in and artificially create a bubble in that particular work, which eventually crashes. And so you see these repeated mini booms and busts in the Indian market created by investors trying to make a fast buck.
But isn't that
artwork.
the same in any market, in Chinese market as well?
No, surprisingly enough, the Chinese market hasn't done that. India is particularly prone to that boom-bust cycle, quite rapid boom-bust cycle. And the problem is, if you're an artist, you might think it's fantastic that your work suddenly is selling for
so high. Yeah.
Well, it's not, because quite a lot of that value is artificial. It's built on a bubble mentality. It's built on the dream potential of, well, even if I pay $200,000, I'll be able to sell it next week for $300,000. Sooner or later, that bubble will burst and the prices drop. And that leaves you as an artist in a very difficult position and can definitely destroy artists' careers. India is a very entrepreneurial country. Every Indian I've ever met is a businessman. They all have businesses. They're all running businesses. And any chance at what they see as making money, then that's what they'll jump into. And so loads of people, especially in India, also in China, more so in India, I think, will, advocate art funds, which is my personal hobby horse, my personal soapbox issue, that they'll start art funds as investment vehicles. So they try to get investors to give them money so that they can buy art, and then in 5 years' time they sell the art, make money, and disperse the profit.
Huh.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't worry, it doesn't work. It's worse than a Ponzi scheme. It's smoke and mirrors. Never, ever, ever, ever invest in an art fund.
Now, I always wonder, how come auction houses, how do they actually come up with the bidding prices, the starting price, or maybe the limit price?
Everyone thinks it's really magical and they have a supercomputer somewhere. It's
yeah,
not.
this number pops up.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all. What they tend to do is most art, well, if it's brand new, it's all price comparison. It's as simple as that. It's really not rocket science at all. So if a piece of work is coming up, first of all, they only try to sell things that will sell, because it costs them money. So the ideal is that I'll only put things for sale that will sell. And therefore, it's things and artists who have track records tend to get at auctions. There are new artists as well, but they have to have a track record in another way. But the estimate is normally based on what have these things sold for in the past. They don't, how's the economy doing? What do you think? There's no big supercomputer doing this, Nobody plugs in all the economic indicators. People just go, I don't know, what do you think about this much? Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Sometimes the prices are brokered between the client and the auction house, as well as the specialist input.
Right, so there are no fixed formula.
No.
No, at all, not at all.
No, the basic premise is, what's this type of thing sold for in the past? And that gives us a ballpark figure. What it's going to sell for on the day, we don't know, but we're looking for a ballpark figure based on history.
I see.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.